I'm Katie, and this is Arlo.
This is Priya Ramna.
I'm Martha.
My name's Kelly.
Janet.
Katie. Dina.
I'm Sydney from Georgia.
One of my favorite holiday traditions is hosting Hanukkah parties.
We just celebrated Diwali.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Happiest of holidays, one and all.
Hi guys, welcome to another year of the Emily Awards 2024. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much to everybody who's contributing holiday memories, holiday traditions for these videos. At the time I'm shooting this, I haven't even seen all of them that have been sent in, but I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who's participating. I think it makes these awards so fun. We started doing that last year just with people sharing intros, but I wanted to add a little something to it this time. So thank you so much for being part of it. This video will be sharing all of my favorites for face products. We're going primer through face palettes. And what I try to do with the Emily Awards is pick a favorite for drugstore and high-end for every category. The goal is to just have one of each. It doesn't always work out that way, but that's what I'm really trying for, just so you come away really having a feeling for what's the best. And I list everything in the info section down below this video. That section is loaded during the Emily Awards because not only do I link to the products, but I also link to past videos where you can find a lot of extra information on what I'm talking about today, because I know as I go product by product, it can be kind of fast. And if you're like, oh, that interests me, I want more, or I want to see that applied, I'm always going to be linking so you can access that information really easily without having to even do a search yourself. So hopefully that's helpful. In terms of my look today, I'm still kind of getting used to my hair being short like this, but I've got a lot of volume in it, I feel like. I will point out the face products that I'm wearing as I go. And as for my eyes, I'm wearing the Sydney Grace Unveiled palette. It was the collaboration palette with Kendra Matthews. I love this one. It's always just so pleasing and easy to use. And I'm using a little combo of the top two rows, mainly the top row, for that kind of soft mauve-y look. And then the other day I was in the car and I heard a Carrie Underwood song come on, and like her picture comes up on the little screen, and it was like a new song. And Carrie Underwood's normally like a dramatic eye nude lip type of girl, but she had on a pink lip in this picture, and I was like, oh, I should do a pink lip like that too. So this is just about what she had on. Little Lady Daisy lipstick from Lawless. So this is just a pinky tone cream lipstick. You can see I don't have a lot of shine. It looks pretty much matte actually. And then the Worth It medium shade, just a little bit deeper than the lipstick. I've got that on, and like I said, I'll point out the other stuff as we go. And this sweater, by the way, I always get questions about this when I wear it. It's from the Gap, and I got it for Christmas like 3 or 4 years ago probably.
Hi Emily, my name's Kelly. Thank you for this opportunity. My favorite Christmas memories stem back to being in the kitchen with my family and friends. From baking and decorating sugar cookies to making candies and snacks to give out as gifts, all the way up to cooking the Christmas dinner itself. There's no place I'd rather be in the holidays than in the kitchen with my family.
For best primer, our drugstore pick is something that has won before, and it's a really special product, I feel. It's the Maybelline Perfector 4-in-1. This is called Glow Makeup. They say it could be used as primer, concealer, highlighter, BB cream. I would be on board with using this as a primer, possibly a highlighter. I do feel like when I put it all across my face, and some of you have commented this to me as well, like once you get it on, it really does make your skin look good, and you could go with that if you were just doing a really quick thing. But I wear the shade Light, and we're talking like a glow mixed with a skin tone. It's like foundation and highlighter kind of came together, but the consistency with this one is so much lighter than all the other products that are similar to that Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter type of idea. This is really lightweight. This is very easy. You just dab it on, blend it in, and go. A light amount will do you. And it's funny how well this has turned out to pair with various foundations. And actually, I always end up with really good staying power. So sometimes you think, well, if I want glow, I use that primer. If I want staying power, I use that primer. And there may be some truth to that with different products you might compare, but this one actually has proven to be good in both respects. So this is the sole primer that I'm going to name for drugstore best primer. Now for high end, we do have a new little friend coming in. This is a really cool product, and I just think about like, what do I want to reach for? What do I really enjoy putting on? This one from Refi, this is a Sephora product. It's called the Glow and Sculpt Face Primer. I know this contains niacinamide. It almost feels like an extension of skincare, but it's got this roller on it, okay? So you squeeze squeeze the product up, it comes out at the base of that little roller, and then you're just rolling it on. And I really enjoy the benefits of face rolling, so if I haven't done that yet in the morning, I feel like I'm getting that step, plus I'm getting the good ingredients. It almost seems like a serum as far as the consistency of what this is. It's adding a little moisture. Just a really enjoyable process. Seems to work well under any foundation I want to throw on top, whether that's something more full coverage. Today I feel like I've got a pretty good coverage look. I've got this underneath, and my skin really feels like just the perfect feeling to the touch. And I do credit this primer for adding some of that extra moisture. I enjoy that so much.
Happy holidays from Wisconsin. My name is Katie, and my favorite holiday tradition is reading together as a family. Growing up, my mom would read to us from Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, and there was nothing cozier than gathering together in the living room and having our mom read to us even though we weren't little kids anymore. Today I get to continue that tradition with my daughter, and I love that we get to spend that time together.
The next category, I've tweaked it a little bit. I used to call it Best BB and CC Cream, and I feel like that classification of a product has just stretched so far, and it's like, what are we even talking about anymore? Because I own some things that are really light coverage, barely there types of products, and then I've also got stuff that's like IT Cosmetics, which is practically a full coverage foundation. So I'm renaming this category Tinted Moisturizer because I think that's more clear for the type of product I'm trying to talk about. And you may have a BB or a CC cream come in and be part of this category, but you know what I'm saying? I'm going for the light stuff, and the heavier BBCC creams, I'm going to consider those more as foundation because that's really what they are, regardless of name. But Best Tinted Moisturizer, not a hard pick for me in this category. Wet n Wild Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator. It is one for multiple years. This is one of the best buys you can make for just lightweight, light to medium coverage on the skin. I feel like it's fairly foundation-like, but it does give you that extra moisture. It does not have SPF, that's something to know, but it does have hyaluronic acid, squalane, it's oil-free. They call it a sheer to medium coverage, and I do think, you know, that can vary with amount, but I am shade light in this. It's definitely a go-to if I feel like I'm in a hurry because the blend is so easy. It's very goof-proof, you know, like get out a big buffing brush and just get it worked in, and your skin just immediately has this radiance, not as a result of shimmer, but just like the tone is right, the texture is right. It's an A+ product. And then for high end, I think this is definitely the sensitive skin friendly pick. It's the Tower 28 Sunny Days. Here's another one. I've used a ton of this. This does have SPF 30, and this is a brand that's very eczema friendly, very sensitive skin friendly. I feel like it's going to be a little lighter coverage compared to this, but I think the moisture is a bit more intense, but it does even out your skin tone. It's truly a lightweight tinted moisturizer. It's a light coverage. I wear the shade 15 Melrose. It says it's vegan and cruelty free, won't cause breakouts, and I can definitely confirm that when I've had active eczema situations on my skin, but I still wanted to wear some kind of makeup just to feel finished, you know, and perhaps even improve the eczema situation. It's even got its little accepted by the Eczema Association label there. This will be the thing that I go for, so it's a great pick, and I'm glad I can shout it out here in the Emily Awards.
Hello friends, this is Priya Ramnath from Mumbai or Bombay, India, a proud OG follower of Emily since her elf video. In India, we just celebrated Diwali, the festival of lights, where we light up the house, decorate it with flowers, make patterns on the floor called rangoli with colored powder. The air is wafting with the aromas of savory and sweet snacks. Family and friends get together and wish each other good health and prosperity. And that is my wish to you. Happy holidays. Bye.
We've got two categories for foundations. We've got a light to medium and then a medium to full. So right now in that light to medium category, the drugstore favorite, this is a new favorite this year. And let me tell you, it was tight to get into my best foundations in drugstore category this year. There are so many good ones. There are literally so many that I enjoy, but the one that made it in for light to medium coverage, Revlon Illuminance Skin Caring Foundation. I feel like this is a very advanced formula foundation. I think this is very much a foundation where I put it on and I think, there's something very high-end about this. Now, it does cost a little more in the scope of drugstore foundations. And I feel like on my channel, we always try to have an awareness of like, there's other lower cost options, you know, in the drugstore. There's some really good things you can get for under $10. This is probably gonna go over $10, but still excellent for that nice medium coverage, looking very skin-like, looking very sneaky, reminding me so much of the Glossier foundation that is really, really good that you can get at Sephora. I'm shade 213 in this. I feel like it's perfect for me. And I was noting the other day how this paired with a really good coverage concealer, it's like, wow, it lasts well all day and you feel like I'm covered where I need to be covered thanks to the concealer, but my skin as a whole looks so good. And even thicker, more serious concealers can like go on top of this. And I credit the foundation for the fact that they're not looking too heavy, because we didn't go heavy layer followed by heavy layer. We went light layer, really natural looking layer, followed by that good pinpointed coverage, and it just works. So I feel like it just fits this category so beautifully. A light to medium coverage foundation, more toward medium. I'm a fan. One full pump, definitely check it out if you're one of those more natural foundation types of people, okay? My high-end pick, this is a multi-year winner, and it's a stick foundation. And it's kind of funny that a stick foundation qualifies in the light to medium coverage category, but that's what this product is. I love a good stick foundation, and this is what it is. This is the Fenty Eavesdrop Blur and Smooth Tint Stick. I wear shade 4. There is nothing on the market exactly like this. When you use this product, the glide, the way this thins down and just becomes like a whole other animal on the skin. I mean, I think a lot of times we expect a cream to turn to a powdery texture. If there's any kind of transformation that is going to happen, it's going to turn to a velvety, smooth kind of texture. This just thins out, and you do look kind of radiant for having it on, not because there's shimmer, but there is such a lightweight yet effective quality to this. You know, I'm pretty practical with makeup. I don't like to just throw something on just because, oh, that's the hot thing and that's what everyone's doing, but what is it actually doing? I want products that really do something. So this does have coverage. I'd call it medium, but there's a lightness, a thinness, an almost cooling quality when it's crossing the skin and blending in, and the convenience of a stick. Like, I'm just so glad I have a great stick foundation that I can recommend to you guys. It's a very one-of-a-kind type of product. I buy a lot of the stick foundation launches, and this is by far the best. Good job, Fenty. Keep making it. It's great.
Hi, Emily. My name is Dina from just outside the very small town of Weir in southeast Kansas. My very favorite Christmas memory was going to my mom's house on Christmas Eve after church to gather with my brothers and extended families to eat my mom's great Italian cooking and open presents. It's the feeling from that night that let me know it was really Christmas, and I hope I recreate that for my kids and grandson today. Thank you, Emily, for sharing your love of makeup and your family with us, and Merry Christmas, everybody.
Best foundation, medium to full coverage, talking about drugstore. I knew for certain, weeks if not months out, that the Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Skin Tint was gonna make it into the Emily Awards. This is a phenomenal product. They're able to pair thin consistency, natural look on the skin, so it does have a little radiance. If you look at the bottle, you can see you're gonna get a bit of sheen in this, but really exceptional staying power. I'm wearing it today. I've got that 130 shade that I think is just a hint dark for me right now. So if your skin tone's a lot like mine, if there's something called 128, that's what I might be actually. But it's stunning. It's a really great product. I saw it receiving a lot of hype, and it's all well deserved. It kind of reminds me of the L'Oreal True Match Hyaluronic Tinted Serum stuff, but I think a little more coverage than that actually. Still like that product very much too. I know that had won Emily Awards in the past. But this one, it's called a skin tint. It's funny that it's called skin tint, but it's in my medium to full coverage category because baby, that's what it is. So I love this. I love this for all the reasons. The only thing it could use is a pump, but I'm not holding that against it because the formula is just that good. And then I'm like, well, what's my high-end favorite? There is nothing high-end that can hang with my drugstore favorites right now in this category. It's not close. And I've always told you, I'm not gonna force a favorite into the Emily Awards just to have something to say. Ah! Oh my gosh. You scared me. Okay, then go to the bathroom. Child enters the room during drugstore foundation category. Oh my gosh, I'm intense. There just wasn't anything measuring up to that product for me. And then also, I have a co-favorite. There's another thing, and it's Rimmel Lasting Finish. Yes, Rimmel Lasting Finish. I mean, if you went back to my oldest Emily Awards, if we went back to like 2008 and we saw what I was talking about, the funny thing is I'm pretty sure it was Rimmel Lasting Finish and Revlon Color Stay, you know? Great stuff. Completely different packaging design then, but we seem to have established the same top-notch quality. In this red pump, we're talking less expensive than most drugstore foundations. They say 25-hour wear, they say hydration boost, SPF 20. I wear 200 soft beige just like I always did. This is a remarkable foundation. So many of you love this because yes, it really does have that great staying power, but I think it's very multi-skin type friendly. This one I mentioned, they snuck a little glow into that. This one doesn't have the glow, but it doesn't look unnatural either. It's got a similar thin consistency, very easy to blend, easy to work with, less cost than this. I find this works very well paired with the entire scope of Rimmel, the multitasker concealer, the Stay Matte powder. You know, you pair it in with this, they all work really well together as a little Rimmel family. But this needed to be mentioned. So yes, we have co-favorites in this category because I feel like they're pretty much equal in staying power. This one's just more like traditional standard foundation. The other one offers just that little bit more glow. Honorable mention, just something mentioned here for my matte lovers, Wet n Wild Photo Focus Matte. We love Wet n Wild Photo Focus Matte. That is superb. It really is amazing coverage. I often achieve full coverage with it. It can give or take depending on how much I put on my skin at a given time, but that stuff is amazing and the staying power is right up there with my other things. I feel like the full matte look might not be as universally like, oh yeah, that's what I want. But if matte's really something you're after, you know, think about the Wet n Wild. It's a great option. So yeah, what did I do here? We had a best foundation, medium to full coverage category, and I snuck in 3. I'm sorry. It's just, that's the kind of year we've been having with foundation. It's been great for drugstore.
Hi, my name is Janet. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you, Emily, for including me in the Emily Awards. My favorite Christmas memory is going to Mexico with my family and creating just memories over there and doing family traditions such as making tamales and setting up huge nativity scenes and then visiting them on Christmas Eve. Thank you.
Best concealer, I could have maybe done a corrector category, but I just thought I'd put it in with concealer. e.l.f. Putty Color Correcting Eye Brightener, that's where it's at, y'all. That is a great buy. This is a great true dupe product for the Becca and Smashbox. I wear the shade Fair. It's that perfect soft pinky brightener. I am wearing that paired with my concealer today, and anytime I use this I'm like, why do you ever skip this step, Em? It's so good. You want to push down into your product, okay? You don't just stay on the surface. Mush your finger down in so it gets extra creamy, and it'll continue to be creamy for like every use thereafter. It is coverage, it is richness, comes in multiple tones, so think about your skin tone, but for my skin tone, I'm definitely going for that fair, brightening, slight bit of pink tone type of shade, and it's awesome. I adore this. If you are struggling with dark circles, this is a product you need to try. We're talking $6. It's a great deal. Now I am going to name a couple of great traditional concealers that are not like under eye brightener types of things. So for drugstore, we have a new favorite this year, and it's the Revlon Color Stay Flex Wear. I still love e.l.f. Camo Concealer. I still think e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer is elite if you need added moisture in the under eye area, but I just can't get over how fresh this stuff looks all day. I think as I get older and older with each passing year, I'm more and more aware of what's happening on the under eye. And I'm not like loaded with under eye wrinkles and texture, but some things exaggerate it more than others. And I use a very small amount of this Flex Wear concealer. This is Revlon's new concealer, okay? This isn't same old Color Stay. They've upgraded. And I wear the shade Vanilla, and it wears so well on me all day long. A little bit. It doesn't take a lot. Coverage is just fantastic. The tone of this, you know, if you want to be a little stepped up from your skin tone, that's working for me too. And it's really emulating my high-end favorite here, which is the Derma Blend. This is a multi-year award winner. Derma Blend Cover Care Full Coverage Concealer. Yep, she's had a lot of use. 15C in this. Something I hope I always am able to tell you in my makeup content is not just that something looks good when it's first put on, because so many things do, but it's what actually goes throughout the day still looking so good. Not just being there, but looking fresh. And Derma Blend Cover Care is elite in that category. And this is probably close to that coverage. If I had to say which one of these has the biggest, best coverage, I might have to put Cover Care a little bit above the Revlon, but it's not by much, okay? Two fantastic options. Still like e.l.f. If you want a lot more hydration to your under eye, e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, still the way to go. Just don't use a ton of it. If you've ever watched me do an application on my channel, we're dot. Doesn't take a lot. I'm much more for a full coverage concealer that can be worn lightly than a lighter coverage concealer that I have to put a ton of it on my skin.
Hi, I'm Marta. This is my daughter Olivia, and we are from Italy. We're honored to be part of this year's Emily Awards. My favorite Christmas tradition is having dinner and playing games with my whole family on Christmas Eve night. Thank you so much, and Merry Christmas, everyone. Ciao!
Loose powders, say it with me, y'all. Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in Fair. If you want the most brightening, if you're around my skin tone, Fair is a great option, but they have a lot of color options actually in this line. How long is this gonna last me? I use this all the time and I still have like half the container full of powder. There's nothing fancy with this one. You know, you're gonna open up the top. There's no amazing stopper situation, but I feel like this can compare so closely and exceed the goodness of a lot of high-end powders. Not looking too heavy. Fair is the utmost brightening. You need to get yourself a powder puff though. I really like these little e.l.f. pinky puffs. But even on Amazon, you can get a pack of just small triangular puffs, and that's the delivery method I like most with a loose powder. You can bake with it, you can put on a large amount, dust it away, or just do the minimal amount, or just take a little brush, you know, find like that small brush from the Profusion set and just lightly set if that's all you want to do with it. But it's made it another year, my friends. I love Fit Me Loose Powder, and I do want to name a high-end pick this year. I feel like last year this was all I named. This year, I mean, I feel like I've been paying extra close attention to my under eye area. Maybe it's just knowing you are 40. I don't know, I'm really just advocating for my under eye area. The Laura Mercier Ultra Blur Loose Powder. So regular Laura Mercier is good. She's got the dark cap, but the Ultra Blur is like the talc-free variety of her powder. It's so nice. I am wearing that today, and this does a very good job of looking undetectable. I feel like I can get by with a very small amount of this powder, and it just leaves a really beautiful texture up there on the skin. So does this, but there's something extremely sneaky about this on another level. And I know I probably don't always give it the credit it deserves, but what better time than the Emily Awards to shout it out and make it known that the Ultra Blur version of Laura Mercier Loose Powder is really fantastic.
Hi everybody, my name is Marissa Sherman Diesel, and I live in the tiny town of Clyde, North Carolina. One of my favorite holiday traditions is hosting Hanukkah parties for my family and my friends. Hosting Hanukkah parties allows me to share my religion and culture with all the people that I love the most. It also allows me to share some of the delicious recipes that have been passed down for generations. Happy holidays!
Pressed powder, if you are a pressed format powder, you can be considered in this category for me. I'm not splitting it up with powder foundation. I maybe could do that, but I just feel like this simplifies it, and I don't really have that many different pressed powder faves. But a new one for drugstore this year, Maybelline Superstay Hybrid Powder Foundation. This is $128 for me. This is a great, great texture if you want powder foundation, or if you want something you can lightly set your face with all over that's gonna really enhance the staying power power of whatever you're using. So you could be using Joe Schmo's tinted moisturizer and you know it's just average, but that's what you use. But you top off with some of this, it will raise the bar. It will make that stuff last longer. The texture is so creamy, so smooth. It does not take a lot of like pressure or rubbing into this product to get some product going. If I'm going to use this with a brush and I'm going to do that strategy where maybe I'm not wearing it like powder foundation, I'm just wearing it for a little extra setting. Look how lightly, like I'm going to barely make contact there. And I've got some on my brush, and then you begin buffing that around. I've already done that with my look today. But this has proven itself, and it's paired well with lots of different things, and I think the key is lightness, because this powder is so soft, it can apply kind of heavy to the skin. And if you want to wear this and this alone, if you love a powder foundation, you can go there with it. Just really make sure you're working it into the skin as powder foundation. But if you're wanting to set, light as possible, and it will do the work. My high-end pressed powder fave has won before and it's winning again, and it's Kosas Cloud Set. Kosas Cloud Set is such a special powder. When we talk undetectable yet brightening, that's what this stuff is. I love to touch up with this. Airy is your lightest shade. So if you're saying, Em, give me the most brightening thing that they got, that's what this is. Okay, you can see I've worked down into my little baked dome here. You could set under eyes with this. You could touch up with it. If you're approaching your makeup look at midday and you're thinking, I'm just a little bit shiny, you can take a little bit of this all over. You don't look like you've been powdered, but yet everything looks a little bit more blurred. It's like an hourglass finishing powder with a little more coverage and no glow, but every bit is sneaky. Okay, so I love Airy for like under eye brightening, but the original one I ever bought was Breezy, and Breezy is like one step darker. And I feel like this has been my touch-up friend here lately, because sometimes it's just like, okay, the forehead area needs help or the T-zone needs help. I'll just take some Breezy all over because I don't need it to be maybe as brightening as Airy, but I'll show them side by side. They're not too far off, but I think you can tell the difference. Elite formula. Here's a good video idea. High-end products I would not give up. I can really get excited about these. I love that. I think that's probably the best product from Kosas, in my opinion. I've used a lot of that brand.
I'm Katie, and this is Arlo from Wisconsin. My favorite Christmas tradition is getting matching pajamas with my sisters and wearing them while we celebrate.
Bronzer contour. First, we're going to do the cream formula, okay? Because that just kind of makes more sense to me. Creams would go on before powders. The Milani Cream Contour. Lots of different products of this type have come out over the course of just this past year in the drugstore, but I do think this has really grown on me. This is called the Cheek Kiss Cream Bronzer. I wear the shade Spicy Season, and the more I use this, the more I realize it's really just like the textures of a lot of high-end stick contouring products. Is just put into a pan. The pigment may be even a little more concentrated than some of those, but the blend is very easy. The tone is very bright. So like I've got this on today. This was my kind of like base contour. I did put some more bronzer over top, but it's really, really good. And I love using a Sephora 56. That's the chosen brush with cream blushes and contours. And yeah, this has just really impressed me. I think they have a nice little color spread, so different things you can choose from. Props to this. That's my drugstore favorite. My high-end favorite. Ooh, it's so tight with this. Maybe the second tightest thing in this video after foundations. There are a couple of really good stick formula cream contours, bronzers out there. Persona, M Cosmetics. They're always jockeying for this spot in the Emily Awards, but this year the formula is really, really close to those, just a little bit softer, I would have to admit, and I've just honed in on the perfect tone. And you guys told me I needed to try this. There was a video earlier this year where I was like, products you recommended to me, and you guys said, Em, you gotta go ahead and try the Rare Beauty stick, and I did. It's called the Warm Wishes Cream Bronzer Stick, and this shade called Good Energy is perfect for me. It's kind of like if you took the two shades M Cosmetics makes and you rolled them into one and you just made my perfect tone. That's what it looks like. And I gotta admit, it really is probably a little bit thinner and softer, even compared to Persona and M Cosmetics. Like, the hype is real. The capping, there's a snap to the cap. Somebody thought that through and thought, we can't have this precious stick drying out. Somebody said that needs to snap, and I'm glad they did, because I swear the formula of this has not changed for months on me. So yes, that's my winner. If you're talking about ease, if you're talking about amazing tone, just love that. We need a sip. We've been talking a long time.
Hi everyone, I'm Bethany from Alberta, Canada. I'm so excited to be a part of the Emily Awards. Thank you, Emily, and the community. My favorite Christmas tradition with my family is after we open gifts on Christmas morning, we have a nice big brunch, get the turkey in the oven, and then everybody takes a Christmas afternoon nap. And when I was a kid, it was time to play with your new toys, but now that I'm an adult, I also partake in the nap. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Powder bronzer. I had a few at the top. I was thinking about Rimmel Natural Bronzer. I was thinking about NYX Buttermelt. Ultimately, I'm going to give this to e.l.f. The e.l.f. Primer Infused line is something more people need to know about. This has really impressive staying power. A lot of times when we look at our face later in the day, sometimes we'll notice if there's shine or not, but a lot of times we'll feel like the color products on our skin have somehow melted away. Not seeing the bronzer as much, not seeing the blush as much. If you are using the Primer Infused line from e.l.f., I don't think you're going to feel like this just fades away throughout the day. It really lasts. It's a long wearing, very soft, very pure pigment kind of bronzer. I have the shade Fresh Tan. There's like no difference between the pigment of this. You could blindfold me and say this is a high-end bronzer, and I'd believe you. The formula is so smooth, so creamy, so purely pigmented. So I just kind of felt like, even as I thought about how much I like this or that, this has to win. This is just top-notch, high-end level quality here. So e.l.f. Primer Infused, the blushes are awesome too. And spoiler alert, the only thing keeping them from winning is my lack of experimentation, because I've only really tried one shade, and I feel like if I tried more, I'd probably really like them too, but I've just only had experience with one of the blush shades, and I think where blush is concerned, you need to branch out and try some more colors. But anyway, that's my drugstore favorite. And then my high-end favorite, multi-year award winner here, Laura Geller Bronze and Brighten. I have the medium tone in this. Look at those different tones that are actually swirled in here. It's not just bronzer, it's like tan and cream and light pink and brown. And this is where Laura Geller's really got it. She can put out new tinted moisturizers and new formats of eyeliner and all these different things. But I feel like her best stuff is always going to keep being these baked products, specifically strong in that bronzer category and blush. The multitude of tones worked in. It's like nobody's going to do it just like Laura Geller. And then also the softness and pigmentation of the product. So it's not so soft that it's unapproachable, but it definitely has a higher level of pigment than a lot of baked products. A lot of baked makeup verges on the dry side. A little too dry, a little too flaky. Laura Geller's baked, but they still have the essence and creaminess of where they started, and they are creams baked into powders. They're awesome. So I would say, if you're thinking, where do I start with Laura Geller? I have recommended like a full face palette that she makes, the Baked Basics thing, but get into bronzers, blushes, and highlighters. That's where I think she thrives.
I'm Phyllis Stark, wife, mom, grandmother, and registered nurse for more than 25 years from Hollister, California. My greatest Christmas joy is carrying on my late mom and grandmother's roles of planning all year for the family Christmas Eve pajama theme for 28 humans, 7 cats, and 5 dogs in 4 different states. Themes have ranged from favorite Christmas movies like Elf and The Grinch to Stormtroopers from Star Wars. This year, we are embracing the color pink and channeling our inner Glendas. Sending love to this beautiful community you have created here on YouTube, Emily. Happiest of holidays, one and all.
Cream and liquid blush, huge category for the year, just in terms of launches. Like, I have so many, I can't store them all in my drawer, and you might think, well, I'm just weed them out. They're all like current. I mean, there's nothing old. There's just been so much come out this year. My drugstore favorite for cream and liquid blush is from L'Oreal, and it's called the Lumi Le Liquid Blush. And this stuff, if we're holding Rare Beauty up like it's the gold standard, L'Oreal came in and said, we've got that. We can do that too. A couple shades shades that I'm holding here, one I just recently used in a video. It's the Dewy Bright Pink. I mean, you can see how one small dot just took over the cheeks, and it was easy to blend. It's a really pretty tone. And then this shade, like, you see this and you think, well, what the heck is that? You know, does it look like much of anything? This is the one called Dewy Worth It. No, this offers so much punch, so much like toasty, dusty peach goodness on the cheeks. So you'll love this one too, but you'll be surprised by it. And then they have some that have shimmer. There's some really deep, rich ones. They're all like a pleasure to work with. I was sent the whole thing in PR and I kept using shade after shade, like just kind of waiting for one that maybe wouldn't click with me. They all click. So it's a line that I think you can really approach with an open mind and think, I'll try whatever I want here because it's really going to satisfy and it's going to work and it's going to last. My high-end favorite, swooping into this category, taking it again, multi-year award winner, Persona. I love the Persona Dream Stick. So they do make good bronzer sticks, but the blushes, these really double as lip and cheek, and they do it better than anyone. Not every product that claims to be lip and cheek is actually good at being lip and cheek. Some of them are really good on the cheeks, and by the time they go on the lips, they just feel dry, or they're much better on the lips and way too dewy to be good on the cheeks. These do both, and they've expanded their line this year. They've thrown in a few new shades, and I think they're just doing a killer job with it. Persona. A great one that I've always loved is Jam. You know, that berry tone looks so pretty sheared out on the cheeks, kind of looking cool pink, but really pretty on the lips as well. And it's the moisture level that's in here. There's enough moisture to be easily blendable, but not too much to feel heavy and just right on the lips, like I said. So that monochromatic look can totally be achieved here. I love Kiss. Looking like pure red. I think the red blush trend has been really hot ever since the like makeup artist for Victoria's Secret was like, we use red blush on those models. And everybody's like, oh, I need a red blush. Try that. And then a new one this year, Caramel. Oh my gosh, what a perfect dusty rose, okay? That's really pretty lip and cheek. See, that's the tone. Who doesn't want that, okay? So that's my pick for the cream blush category for high-end.
Hey y'all, Merry Christmas. I'm Sydney from Georgia, and one of my favorite Christmas memories is definitely waking up on Christmas morning and making monkey bread from scratch with my mom. Thank you, Emily. I love your channel so, so much.
Best powder blush, I actually had to sleep on this and got up this morning. This was another hard category for me. I really do like that e.l.f. primer infused line, but I was tussling with the fact that I'd only really tried one with their new launch. I'm also really into Rimmel Maxi blushes, but I decided to go with something where I have multiple shades I feel really strongly about, and I just love the formula too. And it's Wet n Wild. Wet n Wild Color Icon blushes. 3 blushes that I feel so good about. Wet n Wild, can we collab and do an Emily's Faves 3-pack? Because these are your 3 absolute best. I'm wearing this one today. This is the cool pink called Pinch Me Pink. While my other 2 are such pure mattes, this one has like a little sheen going on. Allow me to add more. I love this shade. Oh man, there's a good solid month somewhere in here where I was wanting to use this every day with my Wet Shady Beaches bronzer and also my Wet n Wild highlighter, and like that was the only look I wanted. It's perfect pink. And then they threw out Naked Brown this year, and Naked Brown is such a star for a perfect like neutral soft blush, just enough depth, just enough sneaky like rosiness comes out of it too. I centered an entire video around this tone and worked it into the eyes as well. The Naked Brown is great. And then the OG Mellow Wine. Deep, dusty rose, hint of red, great wintertime blush. Probably my gateway into this line of blushes and the reason why I've taken off and love them so much. Like, oh, they're so good. They're just beloved, okay? So I had to name those as my favorite. For high-end, I'm sorry friends, but for a second straight year, Laura Geller is running away with it. I've looked over everything. I use a lot of different blushes, but Laura Geller is the only one who's making this great multi-dimensional thing happen. I'm just holding a couple random ones here. I love Pink Buttercream, but this is Starfish Island. I swear that's baked French vanilla weaved throughout with mauve, with coral. The way she mixes tones, and then that ends up looking like just a masterpiece on the skin, all blended together. I just always love the way the look turns out. So that's a fun corally one. And then she's got the blush and bronze. I've loved working with these where she really took them in an earthy direction. This one's called Apricot Bronze or Apricot Bronze. You've still got that rosiness, but she's mixed in champagne and she's mixed in bronze. I just don't feel like anybody else is doing the nuanced, really detailed, really beautiful fusions in blushes like these. And another thing, like I said about the bronzer, they're soft, they're pigmented, they're not dry. I could say Hourglass does some similar things, but they're not quite as strongly pigmented, and so I have to give it to Laura Geller for that. Hi, I'm Emily from Illinois, and I miscounted the amount of intros I would need for this video, and I'm editing it right now, and it's too late to ask for help. So a favorite holiday tradition that we have is driving around town looking at Christmas lights, and we like to roll through the McDonald's drive-thru and grab some holiday pies. Yum! Let's name a best highlight. Two-time winner, Revlon Skin Lights Daybreak Glimmer. Revlon said, we can do kind of a baked type of formula here and make it really shiny and beautiful. And you can see how much I've like dug into the surface of that beautiful product. But she's so smooth. She can go so hard with the shimmer, but there's no particle. There's like no flake at all. So when you take that swatch and you rub it across your hand, there is nothing flying up. There is nothing looking powdery. I've got that on my cheeks today. I've got that a little bit up on the forehead. It's what's giving the surface of my skin that slightly natural look. Love it, love it, love it. Revlon did a great job with that. And then I would also like to mention for high end, because I know not everybody wants that much shimmer. Even though I can wear that lightly, it should be mentioned that Laura Geller Baked French Vanilla is so good. Appearing here in a quad, I don't know if you can still get this quad, but you can get Baked French Vanilla. And look at how actually brightening that is. It's not shimmery, it's brightening, but it's soft enough to where like it's not gonna look thick on your skin whatsoever. You just literally look like you're bringing light to an area. You finish your makeup and you're like, yeah, I look a little dull in here. Just like apply it right in this zone. And it's like the lights have been turned on your face. So high shimmer potential, not shimmery here, just brightening.
The coming of the Hanukkah holiday growing up in New York was always marked for me by my mom taking out the silver menorah to polish and prep with oil and wicks. Then we set it up on a table in the living room in front of the big window facing the street. Today I use a very simple menorah with purchased, pre-prepped oil holders. But we have it sit outside in front of our house for all to see more easily. It's a custom that has broadened over the years here in Israel where I live, where the weather does not get quite so cold as in the U.S., though we have braved the rain to keep it up. Today I am the mom and the grandma with lots of kids around the table, and these holidays are very special.
Best setting mist, one traditional option, one not. Here's the new to me thing. The L'Oreal Infallible 3-second setting mist. Does it feel and smell like hairspray? Yes. But does it work? I have to say yes. It totally makes a difference. You just do like psh, like that, and I go like this far away with it. I've already got it on today. This isn't really about changing the look on my skin because I just don't feel like it does. It's not like, oh, I put that on and now I'm looking all dewy and radiant. It's just about locking it in. So there's that. And then I also want to mention for high-end Urban Decay All Nighter. This is that summer solstice packaging, but this works so well too, but it's just a traditional mist. It doesn't feel like hairspray, so maybe that's appealing to you. You really can't miss with All Nighter. Like, I think this might do an even more hardcore job with the staying power, but this mist is still fantastic and it's gotten me through a lot of major things in life. I don't think I can get through this video without shouting out All Nighter. It's really good. And by the way, I don't douse myself in All Nighter. I'll do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mists maybe.
I'm Megan from Richmond, Virginia, and my favorite childhood Christmas memory is specifically as an older child, more like young adult. Every year since we were little, my grandparents did a treasure hunt for the last gift, and we continued that up until the last cousin was 18, and my youngest cousin is 8 years younger than me. I'm the oldest. So at one point, I'm 20, still running around my grandparents' house trying to find all the clues to find my last Christmas gift, and I still just like have such fond memories.
For best face palette, I'm really kind of surprised that the drugstore fave is repeating, but it is. It's still like my favorite drugstore full face palette, and it's the Physicians Formula Butter Dream Team. And also props to Physicians Formula for continuing to make such a thing available, because it kind of gives the vibe of, oh, limited edition, something they'll just take away. But the products in here are all great. I love how you've got like basic powder, you've got non-shimmery, real natural blush, but then you've got this one, a different take on Saucy Mauve, but they're putting that in there, a really shimmery highlight and 2 tones of bronzer. That they claim is their matte Minoy bronzer, and then their regular. I've used this in a lot of videos. This is so much more space saving than the way they have their normal individual compacts. So I love this. I continue to love it, continue to use it. And then my high-end face palette pick, I was tossing around Laura Geller, I was tossing around Hourglass. I ended up on Ilia this year. I really like this palette from Ilia. I think they've got a really great formula going that is actually blurring with every step. And I've used a lot of this since I've gotten it. This was new for the holidays, and I'm a big fan. The compact nature of the palette is really doing something for me as well, because keep in mind, a full face palette is not just about what are the products, but to me, there's a practical side to it, like what is travel friendly, what creates ease. Look how little this is, and it's putting all these steps. You have 2 blush options. This is the medium. Obsessed with both tones of blush. The bronzer is perfect. The highlighter, you know, it's giving shimmer, and you touch them and they just feel light and thin, but they're pigmented and they adhere and they last and they blur, but they're different, you know, they just have a thin kind of lightness to them. You don't think they're going to be as pigmented and as showing up on the skin as they turn out to be. There's something really special happening here. I hope they continue to make these available. Ilia did a great job. So friends, thank you so much for watching this year's Emily Awards. I hope you enjoyed this face section. It's definitely the biggest video that I do in this series. It just has the most categories, but we'll move on and have a video for eyes, for lips, and I always like to cap off with a finale that covers some random categories like skincare, tools, body products, you name it. So thank you so much for your time, everybody. I really appreciate your support of this series through the years. I can't believe how long it's been going on, since like 2008, but I'm glad you're with us again, and I'll see you in my next video. I love you. Bye.